Another red flag I don't agree with. When you practice self-defense, it's always based on a scenario where your opponent steps towards you with a straight punch.
Where them kicks at? Where them hands? Where them holes? Where them throws? You know what I'm saying?
So some people think that is bad self-defense training, that is unrealistic self-defense training if you're learning how to defend against this punch. And what they really hate is the whole thing with the down block. Kya! The attacker yells at down blocks, the defender yells and nods for them to come forward, or goes into a guard and yells, and then the attacker throws one single punch. They really hate that. They think that's phony. Now, I did a video called The Psychology of One Step Sparring. You know what? I'm gonna put a link to that below, because the video doesn't have a lot of views yet, but it is very important. One thing that really helped to get me going psychologically with self-defense was One Step Sparring, because I subconsciously related what we did in that exercise to what people do on the street. Just to reiterate, the down blocking yell that the attacker does is just like when people who are going to attack you do what's called an interview. They either say something to indicate they might want to do something, or they're trying to test you out to see if you're an easy target, or they look at you. And in the case a lot of times when people are going to do a drive-by, they drive by, they look at the target first, and then they come back and then they start shooting to make sure it's you. That's the down blocking yell. Now, with a lot of fights, if you would leave at the point where they're doing an interview or shut down the interview, you could stop it. But what a lot of people do when they get up in their feelings, they down block and yell back or go into a guard back. Yeah! The equivalent of that is somebody say, "Hey, what you looking at?" And instead of trying to make peace, you go, "What? What you say?" And then they attack you. The third part of the drill. Yeah! And you have to respond to the attack. So that, and I go over that too in Psychology and One Step Sparring. Please take a look at that. That, in a nutshell, is how the One Step Sparring drill connects to real life. Because if you understand what you're doing in One Step Sparring drill, you realize that at any time the defender can stop the altercation if he or she doesn't say anything. Because usually in One Step Sparring, especially at the beginner levels, the low levels, the attacker cannot attack until you indicate that you are ready for them to attack. Now, this isn't going to stop stuff like the knockout game. Not directly. Indirectly, it can actually help you with your awareness. But that's why sometimes as you get more advanced with your one-step drills, with your single punch drills, the person just goes, "Hey!" It comes right at you. Or they just randomly come right at you, and then you got to respond. But the main thing, though, which really shows why this isn't a red flag that I agree with, this is part of a series of red flags that I don't agree with in terms of saying if you do this practice, it means it's a bad martial arts club or school or whatever. The main thing is, this is the first attack that you have to learn how to defend against. This is like elementary school. It's the basic attack. The most basic motion that somebody makes when they try to hurt you, they try to grab you. See, look, I'm going to try to grab the camera, right? See how that's just like this? I'm coming straight at you. When people throw a punch, they go like, when they throw a poorly coordinated sucker punch. See how the arm comes forward just like in the down block? They move that other side a little bit and lean back, and then they come up. See how that movement's similar when somebody tries to stab you? If they're trying to stab you straight, they come straight at you. See how that's just like this motion? They're trying to stab straight at you. If you can't get out of the way of that, what else we got to discuss? The reason why you're always having to do that when you go to class, is because you haven't learned how to stop this yet. Not only that, a straight punch, a good non-telegraphed straight punch is actually the worst type of punch that somebody can throw at you. Your eyes have a hard time picking up things that are coming straight at them. See how you see this coming more than that. And I'm not moving any faster. You have a hard time. You can see this because this is a little slower than me going just like that because the quickest distance between 2 points is a straight line. But technically, in a non-Euclidean universe, it is a curve. But for practical purposes, and for how we imagine things to be two-dimensional in the Euclidean universe, we say straight line. Don't know what I'm talking about? Look it up. It's easy to just come right at you and punch you than to come all the way back here. So that's why your self-defense that you learned at that club was always this, because you still haven't learned how to handle that. And heck, I still have trouble handling that. If it's thrown by if the right person throws it with the right timing, it's hard to block. And not only that, let me close. One Step Sparring is trying to tell you, in my opinion, that you should be ending your fights like this. You shouldn't be drawing your fights out. If somebody attacks you, you should end it like this. You should try to get to the point where you end it with one hit, with one motion. You should even try to get to the point, they told me in the Marines, one shot, one kill. You should even be trying to get to the point to where you don't even have to block. If somebody comes, you just come right like that. Or just right up here. If you can move, you should get to the point where you're at an angle. You can move off the line at the angle and just catch them just like this. Okay, just like that. If they grab me, I should be able to do this. Even if this does something as a distraction so I can come up here with this fingertip thing, I'm not going to say where. If I do this, it should just be one move, even though this is technically two moves. I should be able to knock you out with that. And that's it. And then help them down. Make sure they're okay. And that's it. Make sure they don't hit their head when they fall. One move. One step. If I have to block first encounter, that I did something wrong. That should be the goal. Even if they're standing behind me, and I know it's hard to hit somebody standing behind you, this should be an ultimate goal in my opinion. Even if they're standing behind me, if I feel something, think something, I should be able to come right off the line, turn around, whap, and take care of it. Or at least move out the way and avoid it and leave. One step. It's not bad. See, people that think like this, see if I can hold this up there so you can see it. Now you can't see it. Now here it is. When you practice self-defense, it's always based on a scenario where your opponent steps forward with a straight punch. You're just mad because you haven't mastered the first step. That's why you hate the one step. Heck, like I said, even I still have trouble with the one step. So you're trying to crawl before you walk. Peace. Oh, thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with people who like to talk about the martial arts. Subscribe and peace.